Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, many of you perhaps already know me. I am head of Gemera, a group of mining exploration companies in Argentina. I will tell you about the achievements and the issues we have in the whole national territory. I don't know which is the button that helps me going through the slides. Well, we will talk about the exploration and the participation and the dissemination of mining activity in Argentina, the strengths of the activity, the mining provinces versus non-mining provinces, weaknesses of the mining legislation, and conclusions. The exploration is an activity associated to development of the mining business. You all know this. With the entry of intensive and continuous capital, and that is the difference of mining from other productive activities. Exploration constitutes the base of the mining development of a region and of a country. Through it, it is possible to locate the mining resources to be mined at the minimum cost possible. It's a high-risk business, and it has instability variables, especially the direct dependence on capitals, markets, and financing. How did this business arise in Argentina? In 1993, the national government issued Law 2486 and complementary laws. There was an absolute consensus among the legislators of the period. If you read the approval of the laws and see the name of the personalities there, and you look at their positions today, you wouldn't believe where they are today. Unfortunately, those names are established in the law, and everything is complemented by the issuing of the law 24585 of 1987. That mining investment law has been the determining factor in the attraction of investment capitals in mining. And the backbone is the mining investment law as such. And fundamentally, the backbone was the fiscal stability. That is the backbone of the mining investment law from the presentation of the feasibility. And thanks to that evaluation of mining natural resources, mining went from 0.2 of the GDP to 1.5% of the GDP in 1998, with the startup of the first deposits in Argentina, such as Cerro Vanguardia and Bajo la Lumbrera, to reach 4.5% in 2009. The startup of the next three deposits, such as Casposo, Pascualama, and Rio Colorado, this share will take us to almost 6%, and of less than 3% share of metal mining in exports in 1992, it became 40% of the exports in 1998. The synthesis of this exploration works and the amount of projects we know today, there are more than 340 prospected and known projects and more than 20 projects in advanced stages, with 11 mines operating: Aguilar, Pirquita, Salar de Hombre Muerta, Lumbrera, Veladero, Gualcamayo, Sierra Grande, Mina Marta, Cerro Vanguardia, Manantial Espejo, and San Jose, and Farallón Negro. 3 in construction: Casposo, very near to startup, Pascualama, and Potasio Rio Colorado, that has just been approved by the two chambers in Mendoza, with a fiduciary fund of the province of Mendoza that enables their startup in a near future, and the expectation of approval upon public audience of the San Jorge project in Mendoza. So the pie chart below shows the companies in Argentina by country of origin. We can note the Canadian companies, but there are different capitals, and that undoubtedly is a pride for us, because in a short period of time, Argentina has a share of more than 15% of companies with national capitals in exploration. And I must remind all those that know about this subject that Chile, a large mining country, our neighbor country, took 25 years in developing companies with national capitals. And Argentina today has companies with national capitals investing in venture capitals for exploration. So Argentina, thanks to the exploratory activity, has the following indices: 13th world gold producer, 13th silver world producer, 15th copper producer in the world, third world region in potential in lithium, and a high potential in uranium resources. I think that all this, and many of you that know the subject and come from other countries know how difficult it is to reach in a short period of time. We're talking of less than 15 years of exploration in Argentina to reach these indexes I have just shown. I wanted to show some charts of the metals economic group for you to see how, in the case of the year 2007, we see the variation since 1988 until 2007. We see that the major companies that had almost 40-50% of explorations went down in 2000 to 2006, 2007 to 30%, and how the junior companies increase and are in a 50-60% of investment. So this shows the importance of junior companies and the huge rise in Argentina, because in the 90s and in 2000, Argentina was the Mecca, and in that case, I'm referring to the destination of investment of much of the exploration money, because the companies found our country very attractive, easy to work, much more than Chile, where it is more expensive for those investors. Unfortunately, we have lost that today, because there are some brother countries that offer more stability, better conditions, such as Peru, and they will be receiving in the next years more investments than us. Then if we look at 2009 in the other chart, we see that in late 2008, with the financial crisis and the lack of financing and fall of markets, we see a drop of investments of the juniors, and how slowly we see major companies investing because those major companies must continue feeding their production and exploitation cycles. And here I wanted to show how Latin America in 2009 continues having a high share of the $7.4 billion destined to exploration. Latin America has 26% of that investment, and further back, we have Asian countries, some European countries, but fundamentally, Latin America has a leadership in the reception of all foreign investments. And among Latin American countries, despite all our problems, Argentina continued and continues having a presence with a 7% of investments of that percentage of 26% that is being generated in Latin America. Of course, if we analyze this year by year during the last 5 or 6 years, from 2005 to 2009, we will see how Argentina, to the right of the chart, has dropped a lot its investment, and how Peru during the last years has grown. Not long ago, a journalist asked me this, and in fact there's an article in one of these mining magazines, asked me how or what do we expect in investments during the next years? And I talked about $1.5 billion. And this is a figure that can be managed, and we expect that is the amount that will come into Argentina. Now, if you ask me to compare this with other Latin American countries like Peru, I must tell you that we have problems in the road, because Peru, in that same period of 5 years, will receive between $1.5 to $7 billion in investment. But despite these indices and new discoveries, Argentina today has we are past on time. Argentina is divided in two sectors: mining provinces that promote the mining activity as a legal activity and respect established laws, and non-mining provinces that arbitrarily prohibit mining activities. The provinces of NOA are absolutely focus in developing natural resources. The provinces of Cuyo, such as San Juan and La Rioja, are developing all its mining potential. That doesn't happen in Mendoza and San Luis. You can see this in the map. In green, we have the provinces where it is possible to work in mining and that have incentives for the mining development, and later we will have those provinces presenting here. And in pink, we have those provinces that have banning laws. In the south of the country, only two provinces support mining projects. One is Santa Cruz, we know that case, and Neuquén. Chubut and Rio Negro still are debating if they will allow or ban mining. And central provinces such as Córdoba and Santiago del Estero still have not learned about the possibility of metal mining. There have been many ups and downs and political decisions opposing the actual mining development. There are different resolutions that directly affect the legal and fiscal stability, and the main argument for having investments in our country. Among these resolutions, we have the famous resolutions of the Trade Secretariat that talks about the retention, taxing over exports, that is 5% of the semi-finished metal minerals and 10% on concentrates. This was an impact for us, for our investment companies. Also, there's a legal insecurity generated by the nationalization of the funds of the AFJPs. And the Bonasso Agreement, the Bonasso-Filmos Agreement that intends to override the rights of the provinces to legislate according to the Article 124. The Cordilleran provinces today have issued their own laws to protect and regulate the glaciers in face of the advance to the Parliament of the Nation. Santa Cruz, Salta, and San Juan and La Rioja have approved their provincial laws. And in the Parliament, the protection laws of the glaciers in the province of Catamarca, Jujuy, and Neuquén are in progress. And that's why we have believed it was very important to be in this panel together with junior companies, with the mining provinces, and that is why the provinces are the ones that have the floor. With the image of the San Juan mine, Casposo, I end this fast presentation. Thank you very much.